welcome back to the channel. This video is going to cover the entire month of July because we've been pretty busy, so I'll show you a little bit of what we've been doing. At the beginning of the month we were at a family reunion, camping and enjoying some lake time, and then it was 4th of July and it was rainy and pretty cool, but we still had a lot of fun for the 4th. In the middle of the month, the raspberries were coming on, things were getting really warm, and the pea plants were getting tired of the heat and they weren't producing as much anymore. So I decided to have the kids help me pick what was still there for the pea pods, and we pulled them out, and I am trying a fall crop, which I haven't done before. We planted some green beans in this space, so we got everything cleaned out and trying something new here. Once it was all cleaned out, we found slugs in the bottom and roly-polies and earwigs and all kinds of things that were eating the bottom of the plants. So I'm glad that we took them out and planted something else in here. I planted these contender bush beans. They're a 50-day bean, so hopefully we can get a crop before the cold. Then it was Fair Week. We were busy with lots of events during this week. And here we are to the garden now. It was really hot during Fair Week and we were so busy we didn't really water very much. So the plants are looking better now that we've been able to get some more water on them. The pumpkins are growing all over the place, which is what I wanted when we planted them. There's a lot of flowers and things in there, so hopefully we get some good pumpkins this year. This is our sweet corn that's just starting to tassel out. We planted it like 2 weeks after the first crop of corn that we had put in, so it's just getting going, which is nice to see. We have more pumpkins here in the middle and they're looking really good too. And then this is the sprinkler we just set up to help us water because it's hard to pull a water hose through all of these plants now. It's pretty thick in here. And then we have pumpkins crawling all over the corn every which way, which is fun to see and which I wanted to do. And then we've got corn that was already starting to get the cobs on it and has already tasseled out. The leaves are looking a lot happier now that we've been able to get some water out here. And this one we planted a lot earlier than our sweet corn, so it has got some nice size cobs on it already, and they just need to fill out more and we'll be able to pick them. This is the buckwheat here down the side that's kind of fallen all over the place, but it's still going too. So you can see some of the cobs here are looking nice. They just need to get fuller, like I said. Now our potatoes, we have had some potato beetles I found out here, so they're kind of dying off right now. But I think there's some good potatoes in there. I found a few that are close to the surface and brought those in already. And then the last row of corn, that was actually the first that we planted, and it's kind of finishing up. Still looking all right though. And that's the front garden for the end of the month. Now here we are in the raised bed, and the celery is still going. The pink celery is right there. I picked a few of them. They're just, pink celery is pretty small, but they're still going pretty good. our carrots are nice and thick. That's all that's over here now. The turnips are out, so the whole space is just left for the carrots to grow really nice. And then, like I said, we had pulled out the peas, so now my beans are coming up and they're looking really good. There's lots of beans that came up, so I'm excited about that to try it this year and see what kind of a crop we get for the fall. I haven't picked a cabbage yet, and they're really nice and firm, so I need to start picking these and preserve them. So there's 3 of them, and I'll get to some of those this week. We have a few tomatoes, and the potatoes back here, they've had some beetles on them, but they're still green and growing, so I'm just letting them be. Keep watering them and let them grow. Now the tomato plants have really become a jungle. I haven't been out here just keeping them separate on their strings, so they're kind of just a mess right now. There's suckers coming on that I haven't been able to get off yet. And it's pretty thick with tomatoes and plants and everything in here. So this one, you can see it needs to be clipped up. It's bending over, but I can get those clipped up and it'll just keep going straight then. So here's the dill. Lots of dill that needs cut and picked, otherwise I'm going to have a bigger jungle next year. And these are spaghetti squash plants that are starting to flower. Hopefully there's enough time that they can get some nice squash on them. They're looking pretty happy right here. And there's lots of things going to seed in here, which I'm debating if I wanted to just collect the seed or pull them out. We have 2 nice heads of broccoli, and then some of the smaller ones are just turning to flowers because they don't like the heat and they get really small when it's so hot. So we'll pick those, and if they're not good, then we'll just give them to the chickens. Over here is the kids' garden, and it's really going crazy. The pumpkin plants have really gone out. We've got beans coming now that were kind of overshadowed by the pumpkins, but there's still some in here, so we're gonna have to harvest those. And this pumpkin has gotten caught in the net, so I'm gonna have to move the net and get this runner out of the net and kind of try to get it on the ground here. There's lots of flowers, and the little yellow flower still there holding on to. Lots of pumpkin flowers though, so that's good to see. And on the other side we have our very nice pink flowers that are kind of covering all the peppers, but I really like the flowers that are over here too. Our zucchini plant has been growing nicely. We've got some that we can pick here. And one in the back. It probably didn't get pollinated correctly. That's why it's turning colors and all that. So that one's just gonna go to the chickens. We have our watermelon plants that are growing everywhere. Haven't seen any yet. And then on this back side is all of the cucumbers, and we have been getting some cucumbers that are starting to come on. There's lots of flowers, and there's several little cucumbers starting, so we really like the cucumbers and they're really good. So I'm glad that we're starting to get cucumbers right now. This one right here got left on the plant a little too long, so It's kind of starting to yellow a little bit, but it'll still be really good. This variety of cucumber stays really nice. So. We got more squash, more cucumbers hanging to pick. And like I said, we really like cucumbers, so it's good to have lots of plants. And that's about it for the end of the month. We've got lots of stuff growing and starting to enjoy the harvest. So here's our final harvest. Our cabbage was 4.5 pounds, so that was a really nice cabbage. Thanks for watching.